So it's probably hard to see, but this is what I'm actually building this out of. This is just a shelf, stainless steel 14 gauge shelf. I'm cutting the size and mounting to the side. Bam! The reason why I use this is because it's already pre-bent, and it would make it easy just to add a plate on top, hopefully on a hinge, so that way it's going to be accessible. But you can kind of see how I've been cutting it down to size. This is going to be the next corner piece, then followed by another full-size one over here, cut down to whatever size I have to do it. So it's actually turning out pretty good, and I'm really happy that I'm using that saw for the straight cuts. It's going to make all the difference in making this actually clean and a great quality weld when this is done, instead of that burnt up look. When I do a lot of the exhaust work, what I find is that the more gaps, the more ugly and burnt it is. I mean, I'm an amateur. At this point, I feel like a professional amateur with how many times I've had to redo things. But unpaid professional, so I guess that just means amateur as hell. But we continue. I'm gonna tack this up, keep on moving forward. Okay, so now I got it on the weld table. I got a pretty sweet little rig. It's just to hold a microphone, but I'm gonna be back purging behind all these welds so they stay nice and strong. They do make a paste you can put between these on the other side that will stop it from oxidizing, but it's kind of a mess, so I'm hoping to avoid having to use it unless I really have to. But now it's just a matter of getting this all welded up so I can put it back inside the car and permanently weld it in place. Here we go, finally able to get my daughter in here getting some welds in. Ooh, warp the hell out of it. Woo. That's pretty hardcore. So what do you think of the thumb trigger?
It's alright. It's kind of weird.
Well, do you like it better or kind of situationally maybe, huh?
Yeah, when you're trying to fill something, it's kind of hard because it's all hot. So you have to like be quick about it instead of like slowly doing it.
Yeah, hitting the pedal down a little bit to slow the heat down.
Yeah.
That is crazy how much it warped it. I wonder if you can see it on the camera. This video is taking so long to make that I'm forgetting where I am in the process of making the damn thing. So today we picked up this square tubing. It's also stainless steel. It's going to serve the purpose of adding some rigidity to this box that I put in. You can see how it's going to fit in. And this is actually, I just popped it in to just weld this in. And that way I just make sure I'm not screwing myself over by this being too long. I know that it fits perfectly, not too long, not too short. And so I'm about to tack this in place, take it over to my weld table, and finish it up. So things are going pretty smooth. The only thing that's a bummer is we didn't think about how thin this piece was. Probably can't see it in camera, how warped it is. But still looks pretty dang good, especially some of these welds here. Ooh, yeah.
time, Jade.
Jade killed it. What are your thoughts on that weld?
It was half easy because there's good like connection points.
Yeah, the
So-
gaps are like a welder's worst enemy, right?
But you have to be in like really weird positions to like get the spots, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah, but you nailed it. High five. Very nice, great success. So this is the finished product. I do still have to make the whole lid and everything, and right here the intake piping is a 5-inch intake piping. It's gonna go all the way up to the roof with like a snorkel contraption I'm gonna make. But this is all installed. I welded as much as I could. Some areas were just impossible to weld. There's like 2 layers of metal here, so I would burn through it pretty much instantly. There's like a really thin outside layer, and because the other inner layer had a coating on it, it was just impossible to weld. So I did MIG weld some of this, and I had to really concentrate on pointing the heat at the stainless steel and do a real quick feather to attach it, just real quick. And so at least I got a lot of that attached. But some areas worked out pretty well, and then I miscalculated over here and had to add this little piece, and it's kind of the same where there's 2 layers of that steel, made it really challenging to weld. But this thing is super sturdy in here, and just for reference, this is the front of it, how it looks. But I think it looks fantastic, and this should work really good for giving me the room I needed for the turbo. There's another little view of it. Let's back up a little bit. Sick. So the carpet's going to be surrounding it. All these welds are going to be covered up, and the only part that's going to be exposed is the top portion of all this, and it's going to be pretty slick. And then this will open up, so quick access if I need to just look at the turbo or show it off at a car show. So onwards we go. And also this video was made over like 2 weeks, so hopefully it turns out good in editing.